And is with that next project to try and keep both that and Morak in, put equal effort into both rather than spending a lot of time on the other project and minimal time on Morak. But we will finally be moving on to the next few base plates where we are finally building the actual base and the actual refinery. Hello and welcome back to building Morak. Morak is Mor-Back. Does that work? That's what the title's going to be. Does it? If it didn't make sense to the title, that's Morak, Mor-Back, because it's back more, bigger, and better than ever. It pretty much. Okay, so 5 months ago, almost 6, was the last episode of Building Morak, and I said, "Oh yeah, see you next week, lads." Didn't come next week, or the week after that, or however many weeks it came up to being now. It's a new year, same mock. Let's continue it. First, I wanted to show you the journey so far, or the build so far. So my goal is to get the entire mock, lay it out on a table to show you what the entire thing looks like when it's all together. So let's get on to that. But before we do that, it's been a couple of months. Let's hit the intro. Okay, so first off, ignore my voice if it sounds weird. I've had a really bad throat for the last few days, because this always happens in winter. So basically, I've come to my dining room table, because one of my room is not nearly big enough, and I'm just going to lay the mock out down flat like that. I'm going to set the camera up on that cabinet over there, and just see, hopefully it should all fit on this is big enough. And just to show you what Morak currently looks like in its state when it's all put together. So let's film that. I also want to film it for minimal disasters, because if something does break, I want to get it on camera. That's pretty much half my brand at this point. Okay, so with no vehicles, no minifigures, and no trees, because I forgot to bring them downstairs, this is what the Morak mock currently looks like. So you can see I've got quite a lot done. This is way bigger than even I thought it was when it's all put together, because there's just loads of stuff going on. Like, it's a big old mock. And it's meant to push even further back. Like, I think I was meant to go another maybe 2 grey base plates back that way from where it currently is. So you can see we've still got lots of work to do with the actual base, which was meant to be the main part of this mock. So I don't know what all this is going to do. But yeah, this is the current situation. You can see there's quite a lot of cracks. You may have noticed in that time lapse, I was fiddling around, especially trying to get this in and this to all connect. Something is off, which means that all of this is not working. So I do need to go and figure out what that is and make sure everything perfectly connects before I start moving forward, because I don't want to mess something up now, which will hurt me on much later on. So for the time being, that's this is what Morak currently looks like, and I'm gonna go through a bit more with you in the morning, because it is currently very late. So I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Right, it is the next morning now, and I'm back out with the mock. You can see I've replaced another base plate just in there, just to see how that's gonna fit in, to see how much bigger I want to make it to go back. But I just wanted to test a couple of things, and I thought, oh, well, one thing I need to make sure, see if it's been working all this time, is the is the Technic, of course. So when I put this in, this bit is not plugged in, so this will not move currently. But I should still have my back and forth motions out of these little black pieces here, which will move my skiffs. So when I turn it on, light goes on. You can hear something trying to work. Nothing's moving. This is terrifying to me, because if you watched the early episodes of Morak, or when I was working on this, you knew how long it took me to try to get this to work, and it was in a position where it did, and now it doesn't, and I don't know why. I'm thinking it may be to do with the batteries in the box, but then the light is showing, so it might not be that. So I'm just going to pull, just take this section away and see if I can fix that quickly, because I really don't want to spend another 10 episodes trying to get Technic to work, because we all saw how that ended last time. And my goal is to solve it quickly by showing you the entire process in time-lapse. All the footage that I filmed here ended up being about 30 minutes in length of me trying to fix this Technic. So I don't think you want to see that. I don't want to see that. So we're just going to show you the short version, to quote Spaceballs. The first thing I wanted to do was to test if it was an issue with the actual Technic mechanism I built or just the battery. So I plugged in my other part of the Technic, which is this thing here, which moves the Juggernaut, and that was moving all fine, bar these two on the end, which I soon figured out the problem to. So we figured out that it wasn't that. It was actually the Technic function itself that was the issue. So now we can go a bit quicker. This was what the Technic function looked like. I had to rip off a bunch of the old work I'd done months ago, breaking many reddish-brown pieces in the process, trying to find the fault. So you can see here is all of the old Technic, which I had built months. It's pretty much, it could be over a year now. I'm not sure quite how long ago I started Morak, but it was a long old time. So yeah, I just had to keep on digging through, making loads of work here for myself, try to put it all back together in the end, but I just kept digging through to try and find what the issue actually was, until I think I found something. Okay, well I think I've found the issue. You can see here, I'm missing a gear. So that was definitely there before, because it was moving somewhat before, so that's fallen down into this cavern here somewhere. You see there's some bits back there, and I'm not sure exactly where that piece has gone, if I'm honest. Try to see through my camera because I can't get a good look down there. It might be with that stuff.
6.5 hours later.
Alright, I realised where that gear went. If you can see there, it's lodged just underneath, so it's dropped down into that. So I need to somehow pull that out. Got an idea. Okay, so I've got that same axle. I've stuck a little bit of blue tack right onto the end of it. And I'm going to see if I can put it in here, connect it to that gear. Am I a genius or am I an absolute genius? Anyway, this is meant to be the short version. So this was me basically trying out the gears. And while it looked like it's working on the time-lapse, it was in reality going very slow and was hardly moving at all. This actually doesn't really work that well in time-lapse. But basically, it was working, but I needed to try it with a little bit of weight on the top of it, just because it will actually do when it's fully built. So I needed to get these skiffs on top. Okay, so we're in the danger zone again. I tried one final test of seeing how it would cope with the weight on it. This bit is not even properly attached yet or anything. So I tried to see, how strong will this be if I just leave it as is with the weight of this thing. And this isn't even with the weight of minifigures, and there should be two other skiffs. So I turn it on. And you can see it's doing the thing where it goes back and forth, doing the function as it should do. And then before I was testing this for a couple of minutes, and it just stopped at a point, which is not really what you want. So I'm wondering if I take out one of the gears here and try to slow down and make it just move faster, that might be the issue. I'm genuinely not sure. Because it just keeps stopping, and I'm really annoyed because I didn't want this to turn into another Technic episode, and that's exactly what it's done. So yeah. And yeah, there you go, it stopped right then. So I don't know if I just want to leave this on the back burner and just call it, or if I should keep trying, because it's really annoying. I turn it off, and then if I turn it on now, it won't move at all. But if I leave it for a couple of minutes, or not even a couple of minutes, a couple of seconds, and then I turn it on again, it should work. See, now I've turned it on, and no, not moving. Oh, no, it is. See, it's doing it now. And now it's stopped again. I really just don't get it. I don't get this. I don't get why it's not working. There'll probably be some Technic whiz kid in the comments who does know how it works and is smarter than I am. But just like, I think for the amount of time I spent on this Technic and the amount of issues that have come up, I think I'm just gonna rebuild this as it is now and then just leave it to the end of the mock. And then if it's broken, it's broken, and just leave it at that, because there's still so much to go. Like, that is like, I'd say these two bits together maybe make up 3/5 of the mock. It still needs to go like another 2 grey base plates further back. And that is also meant to have a couple of Technic functions within it. So I think for the time being now, I'm just going to leave it. And that's that. Sorry. Okay, so it is now once again dark again outside, and I've now come across another issue. This still has not been completely fixed, but I was just trying to put down this next base plate here next to it, and a couple of interesting things occurred. See, when I line up these two sections here so that these the base runs smoothly against itself, you can see this is all up, but for some reason this line does not connect on the clef face, and also these lines do not connect, like for the base, but the actual base plates do. But when I bring this slightly forward so that this does connect, that connects. This runs smoothly across the top in the line it should do, but this is now too far forward, and the base plate is too far forward in the back. This was definitely not an issue before, so I don't know what I've done to cause it. Yeah, not going well. I don't know why I'm just running into more problems I didn't even know that I had beforehand. I really love mock building, me. So basically, issues like this were happening all over the mock, and it pretty much ended up in me having an existential breakdown, which then in turn made me have a bit of a revelation. I'm a complete idiot. I'm such a stupid individual. Right, here is what's happened. So I was talking to you before about how some things didn't line up with each other, specifically how that corner did not line up with that corner, where it was all working beforehand. So I just tried a bunch of the other connections, and I realized actually there's quite a few bits here that just do not line up where they should do, like I was showing you before when I first did them all out. So I took the smallest bit, which is this little corner bit here, to another bit that it connects to, which is this side here. Now we can see on the side, that's completely flat, nice and even. This side here, nice and completely flat, that's even. To prove it to you, what I did was I put it literally just flat down on the table, no gap underneath there whatsoever. I put them directly next to each other. This happens. There is a gap created there. I don't know how that's possible. Like, where is it coming from? So now I'm worried, just trying to think if it's just the table that's the issue. So I'm going to move these two bits specifically, because they're nice and small, to another section. But like, you see those bits there, they connect fine, so I don't know what's going on. So I'm going to bring these two bits to a different table, because I feel like these definitely did fit together before. I know this side to that side, this side to that side definitely did, because I literally just watched back the video now, so I don't understand what's going on. So I'm going to move this back and then have a look again and see, just move it to another table and see if that helps. Yeah, I moved into another room and it's completely fine. Like, it perfectly connects, like, exactly where it should do. Yeah, so basically, potentially every problem that I have highlighted today was the reason the issue was there was because I moved it onto a table that was not even. I'm such a moron. Oh my god. Right, okay. So yeah, I don't even know if it's worth putting out this video just because it's funny or if it's just sad to sit through. So sorry for wasting your time. I don't even know if I'm going to go and lay it all out together now because that was the whole point. Because that table's not going to work because it's not even. Oh my god. Okay, so I'm now in another room, that being the conservatory, hence the weird echo. But I have now laid the entire mock out onto the floor because I thought, oh, that'll be a nice flat surface. You can see here it's a lot better joined up. All these line up a lot better. There is still a couple of gaps, but I think it does all work together. The issue was just that table, which it's also freezing in here, so I'm trying to film this as quickly as possible. Got the juggernaut on there just so you can see that to scale. This is what the mock looks like, and this is all I'm going to be able to do for this episode. It's kind of a reintroduction back into Morak. So this will become a weekly series once again, and if you want to watch that, subscribe so you do not miss it, and comment if you're excited to see Morak back once again. Yeah, that's everything. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm freezing cold, so that's it for this week. Thank you so much for watching. I'm trying to post again consistently on the channel. And I will see you next week for more Morak. Bye!